What is going on, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam. Hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight, man. Hope you guys have all had a great Thursday. Hope you guys are ready for another live 2023 startup mock draft for the 2023 Dynasty Fantasy Football season. If you guys are new to the channel and you are tuning in, we are running a 3 wide receiver format, a super flex format, as well as a tight end premium format. So just be aware if you guys are tuning in, you're not familiar with our draft format. On top of that, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way in, and of course hit that like button as well. But most importantly, hop in the live chat. Let me know what's popping. Let me know how you guys are doing. Any fantasy football topics, redraft, dynasty, best ball, whatever it may be, any NFL topics, excuse me, throw it in the live chat. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We're going to talk some fantasy football. Okay, so I'm gonna give it like one more minute, then we'll go ahead and we'll get this thing kicked off. So 10:37 p.m. Eastern time. Be alert if you guys miss your first pick. No worries, it shouldn't affect things too badly. You guys can hop right back in. But 10:37 p.m. Eastern time will be our official start time for the night. So not really any NFL news that we need to go over. I mean, yeah, Dexter Lawrence getting extended with the Giants, but not particularly fantasy relevant. So we will have some discussions throughout tonight's draft based on the draft overall. But yeah, nothing really we really need to go over. So I'm going to go ahead and send out one last warning, then we're going to go and start the draft. So let's do that. Final warning is out on Discord. It is time. It is 10:37. Let's do it. Let's have some fun, man. Okay, excited to be here with you guys tonight. Thank you to those of you who are drafting with me. And thank you to everyone who's tuning in. So, Godfather, what's going on, my guy? Hello, hello. No worries, man. We will get you in a mock soon. Hope that the family's doing well. Good to have you stop by, of course, of course. All right. 1.4. Here I am again. I somehow landed the 1.4 in both of our Dynasty leagues this year, which is going to be a unique challenge, being that league number 1 will not have third round reversal. League number 2 will have third round reversal. So, by the way, that brings up a good point. Tonight's mock does not have third round reversal. We've been switching that back and forth. So no third round reversal tonight. We ran it last time. So just as a fair heads up. And anyone tuning in, of course. So, do we have some options here? I mean, I feel like I have to go Allen here. Could go Hurts as well. Let's go Allen. But, I mean, argument for either player's pretty fair right there. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Nick. I'm sure he'll be back. But usually if you just get one auto in the first round, it's not too bad. I mean, a quarterback usually goes off the board or a top-rated player. So I'm sure Nick will be back. And it looks like everyone else is here, so we should be okay. What's up, X Factor? How you doing tonight, man? What's up? What's up? All right, Speezy going with the wide receiver early tonight. What do you guys think? Too early for JJ in a super flex format? I mean, it is a 3 wide receiver format as well. There goes Chase at the 1.6, so 2 receivers in the first 6 selections. All right, so let's see here. I did put out my top 5 rookie tight ends for you guys as well, so I'll go ahead and drop that link in a second here as Justin Herbert's off the board at 1.7. I decided just to do top 5 for the tight ends. I felt like that made a lot more sense than going like top 10, for example. But if you guys do want to check that out, if you have free time, there it is. Pretty short video overall and pretty straightforward for the most part. All right, T-Law off the board at 1.8. I'm telling you guys right now, if I get Trevor Lawrence in a super flex startup draft at 1.8, I'm just ecstatic. I truly, truly am. I mean, you know, age 23, going his 3rd season, took every stride forward that you'd like to see in his 2nd season. I mean, maybe you could argue touchdowns could have been a little bit higher, but 30 total touchdowns. I mean, Herbert's 2nd season, You had much more. I mean, 41. So, and overall, his rookie season was much better. So, I don't know. I just feel like both those guys just such good values. We see Fields fall to a 1.11 tonight. I also love Justin Fields in the first. And let's not forget about Lamar. I mean, we got Lamar locked down with the Ravens for 5 years. Like, it's in a good position as well. So Lamar, age 26, going into his 6th season. All right, Deshaun Watson on at 1.12, and Boss Man goes with Anthony Richardson at 2.1. And into the second round we'll go. Let's do it. Let's do it. So, still pretty quarterback heavy. Like, even with JJ going at 1.3, Chase going at 1.6, and Bijan, you know, really we've seen go anywhere from, like, literally 1.6 to, like, beginning of the second. So, but most of the time, honestly, Bijan's still going in the first right now. But even with JJ going early, Chase going a little bit earlier than usual as well, we still essentially saw the same 12 players off the board that we see on a regular basis in the first round. So, like, if JJ goes at 1.3, Chase goes at 1.6, I don't think it necessarily, like, is unrealistic. You know, if you're heading in to your startup draft and you've already decided that you're not going to go quarterback in the first and you want to select Chase or JJ, then there's a strong likelihood that if you don't take them off the board when you can, you're not going to get them, right? I mean, an extremely strong likelihood. So, I don't know. In Superflex, I'm probably still going quarterback in the first personally. I mean, there's still a point in the first where I won't pass on JJ and Chase in later rounds, but first 8 picks, I don't know. Maybe first 7 picks, I'm probably going quarterback no matter what. So, but I like it. Bringing up a little bit of a different look for the night. All right, where do I want to go with this next selection? Do I want to go quarterback here? I would have loved to get Amon-Ra. That's not happening. It's a good pick. Kadrick. Yeah, I'll just take Waddle off the board. I feel like Waddle, like, you know, age 24, going his 3rd season, a little bit older for a 3rd-year guy, but not really. I mean, just a tiny bit compared to some players, right? I feel like Waddle's just being forgotten about right now. You know, I mean, I think, like, the Dolphins' offense for some fantasy managers took a little bit of a hit towards the end of the season. I mean, I'm not talking about, like, actual numbers or fantasy points scored or anything, but with Tua's concussion issues, I feel like a lot of fantasy managers, like, there's just a negative kind of feel when they think about the Dolphins offense. So, and the Dolphins have made, like, really good moves, I think, so far this offseason. So as long as Tua can stay healthy, I think Watt will be just fine. So Amon-Ra is age 23, a year younger. A.J. Brown is a year older. Garrett Wilson's young. He's 22. Olave's 22 as well. So Waddle, I mean, yeah. You know, you think he'd be around 23. He's 24, but I don't know when his birthday is. Could have been recently. All right, where do I want to go with this next selection? Do I want to take a QB here? Do I want to go Tua? Throw together a little stack? I like the Gibbs selection right there. Speezy loading up at running back. I'm going to go JSN here. Give me a rookie. Michael, is Trevor Lawrence good value at the 2.7 in a best ball super flex? I would say... You know what, Michael? I'm going to do a little bit of research for you. Yes. Yes. I mean, when we were running the big board through Underdog, Trevor Lawrence was going in the first round easily. So 110% in the second round, anywhere in the second round, good value. 2.7 is a great value. So, if I can get this pulled up for you. This was the last Superflex big board draft I did on Underdog, and I got T-Law at the 1.9. So, yeah, I would certainly say that Trevor Lawrence all the way at 2.7 is a great value for sure. For sure. Thomas, what's going on, man? How are we doing tonight? How about Seattle Kraken, man? The NHL playoffs have been crazy. I mean, just crazy. But yeah, scoreless night so far. After taking the first game, how you feeling? The Toronto game earlier is just wild. Toronto's up 2-0 and then gets shut out the rest of the game, loses. Cinnabon, how are you doing, man? I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. I was very headachy today. I'm not gonna lie. Body's just been hurting, man. But I'm good. I'm here. I'm happy to be here tonight. What's up, Justin? How we doing tonight, Speezy? What's up with you, my guy? Nick, what's up, my guy? How's everyone doing? Appreciate you guys drafting tonight. Okay, this is what I want you guys to do in the chat. Let's get some interaction going here. I want to know 2 names. Who are your guys right now? Like, who are those 2 players that you have to have? That you really, really want. I want to know. Who are those 2 guys that you need on your roster? Dynasty startup. You know what? Redraft, best ball, anything. Any format. Who are those guys you can't leave your draft without? Species says, smash that like for the fan. Yeah, guys, let's try and get up to 10 likes as soon as we can. Michael, I'm a 24-hour draft. It's been 2 days, and we've only gotten to the 4th. I mean, yeah. Those slow drafts take quite some time. But it's kind of fun. Like, you kind of just, like, every now and then, like, look at your phone or whatever, and you have a draft selection to make. Like, I like slow drafts a lot, personally. I'm in 1 Underdog slow draft at the moment. Speezy says Sun God. I agree, man. I love Amon-Ra right now. I really do. And I think in redraft formats, like, there's a strong case that he'll be going at the end of the first by the time we're doing real drafts. So it did pain me to see him go with the 2.8 tonight. As soon as I saw, like, I knew Katz was going to go with him, and I can't blame him for sure. All right, I'm going to balance things out here a bit. Add a veteran. Give me Devontae. And we'll see what happens as we wrap up the 4th round. Michael says Garrett Wilson and Olave. I mean, I like it. Wilson's going to have a big year. Like, can we really deny, as long as Wilson stays healthy, he's going to have a big year, right? I mean, it's not even close. I'm very excited about the Jets offense right now. I know a lot of people are. I know it's easy to be. They could easily have some growing pains as well. Don't get me wrong. But I'm excited about that Jets offense. I'm way more excited about the Jets offense this year than I was, like, about the Broncos offense last year, for example. I feel like when we were looking at, like, you know, a quarterback moving to a new team, somewhat of like a super team, so to speak, being built. I feel like the Broncos were that team last year, and the Rams were the team the year before, you know. Bucks the year before that. So, yeah, I just I'm excited about this Jets team. I am. Broncos, like, I didn't think they were going to be as awful as they were, but I certainly thought that they would be able to compete within that division. But the reason I wasn't as excited was because the division was so tough. You know, like, even if they were able to compete, I didn't quite know if they were going to make it out of the division. So I feel like the Jets have a relatively straightforward path to at least a wild card spot. Don't get me wrong, it's still a very tough division. Miami still humming. Bills are the Bills, and he got a Bill Belichick team. Say no more, right? So still a tough division, but I do feel like the Jets will be able. I mean, they're on the cusp making the playoffs last year as a wild card team. I think they'll be fine this year. We'll see, though. I have already made the argument at least once that the division's still going to be tough to win. I mean, that part, to win that division is going to be tough for sure. All right, let's see. Give me Goff. I need a quarterback. Justin, nice when you got 5 to 6 going at once. Yeah, I mean, I've ran like 2 or 3 slow drafts at the same time before, and I mean, I will say every now and then it can be a little bit easy to get a little bit confused on where you're at, but hey, man, I think we all just enjoy drafting, whether it's mock drafting, actually drafting, whatever it may be, and I know I certainly do. I just enjoy the aspect of like forming a team. You know what I mean? Taylor, I was in a rookie draft with no time limit for picks. It took forever. Oh, gosh. No time limit is too much. Far too much. You got to have a cutoff somewhere, right? All right, into the 5th round we are. Mostly receivers off the board, but we've got 3 running backs now and a quarterback in Goffy. Man, I can't believe Goff is 28. This feels like he's so much younger. He's going into his 8th season. I swear I remember like yesterday when Goff was drafted. And I remember when he played well too. You know, quite frankly, although he had double-digit interceptions between 2018 and 2020, he never really seemed to be able to push his team too far over the hump. I mean, don't get me wrong, he did take the Rams to a Super Bowl, but you know, when you really do look at Goff's stats with the Rams, like, they're really not that bad. Don't get me wrong, Sean McVay led offense, all that stuff, but yeah, I mean, he had some good years. Absolutely had good years with the Rams, so. Been an interesting career, to say the least. Not going to argue with the Rams' decision to move on from him, though. Obviously, they won a Super Bowl. Paulie says, Christian Watson. You know, I do think Watson's coming at a pretty good value at the moment. I mean, at 4.6 tonight in the startup draft. But, yeah, in redraft, definitely going off the board at a good value. So I think it's a good target because, like, all the other guys we talked about so far are going to be gone by the end of the 2nd round. So I do think when you are trying to identify, like, those players that are kind of your guys that you're kind of, like, you want on your squad, like, it's almost better to try and find players who are in mid to later rounds. Speezy's running back room. Oh, it's intense. Going to be flexing 2 running backs, that's for sure. Interested to see what you do at quarterback there. But Justin usually has a plan. I'll leave him to it. We'll see what happens. Thomas, I really like to target Kenneth Walker and Charbs in all redrafts, or take Charbs late round by himself as a bench stash. I mean, I do certainly think that Charbonnet will hold good handcuff value, and I do think as the season goes on, there will be enough committee value from both those guys. But I think Walker is going to be just fine, and like we saw last night's underdog draft, like Walker went at like the in the 4th round. Like I don't know. Most of you guys feel pretty comfortable with Walker. Like he still goes at 3.9 tonight, for example, in a startup draft. And I do think his ADP's been a little bit higher in startup drafts, but I'm not personally worried about Walker. I'm not. And I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, you're investing a little bit of capital into the same backfield, but there were a lot of fantasy managers last year that purposely drafted Kenneth Walker and Rashad Penny. And you know what? It worked out. Certainly hope that Walker doesn't get hurt, and that's why Charbs comes on the scene. But let me make the selection. It's going to be Chubb. I need to hop into some hero running back options here. I'll take the Chubbster. How do you guys feel about Nick Chubb, though? I am interested. At age 27 going into 6th season. But, yeah, I mean, Thomas, I do think that it is important to go out and get players that you believe in, but also be wary of chasing your home team too much in drafts. Can really work out, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it can do two things. It can, if you're a Seahawks fan, for example, and the offense starts to play poorly, it can really bum you out. It can make watching your home team less enjoyable, I guess is the point I'm making. So if they're not playing well for your fantasy squad, even if they're playing like decently in the football game, but it's just not translating into fantasy points, that overlap can be disappointing at times for sure. But I don't know, man. I have been thinking about the Seahawks just kind of randomly lately. I don't know why I was thinking about this at work, but I think when we look at this Seahawks roster, I don't know, man. They could really be a sneaky contender next year. I mean, obviously they made the playoffs this past season and no one was expecting it, but I just think, like, man, they had a pretty strong draft. Like, in terms of just kind of going all in the draft. I mean, Devin Witherspoon, at pick 5, with what that secondary was able to do last season, could be just monster. Then he had JSN as well behind Metcalf and Lockett. Charbs as well. A lot of edge rushers, offensive linemen, one safety. So, I mean, continuing to add to the secondary as well. And then Kenny McIntosh. Like, I'm almost more enraged that... Sorry, I'm doing all types of things on the screen. I'm almost more enraged that the Seahawks took Kenny McIntosh than I am, them selecting Charbonnet. Because I love McIntosh. But, he's it's going to be very, very difficult for him to come into a role where he's relevant. But you never know. Never know. Michael, in Redraft League, where are you drafting Gibbs and feeling comfortable with the pick? We do need to run a redraft. We might be running a redraft mock tomorrow because we have not ran one, if I'm not mistaken, since the draft ended. And I don't want to forget about you redraft guys out there. And you guys know that we're primarily a redraft channel. It's just right now, like, Dynasty is like what we're trying to practice for and study for and everything. But and what's most relevant at the end of the day, right? But in terms of where I'll tell you, Michael, I'm very high on Jahmyr Gibbs right now, especially in redraft. And I won't be surprised if come August time, if Jahmyr Gibbs is going beginning the second. I'm really not going to be surprised. And, like, think of it this way. Like, look where DeAndre Swift was going last season in August. Like, end of the first, beginning of the second. I think Gibbs is going to have that same role. And the theory is actually be able to stay healthy. And maybe Gibbs even has more receiving upside when you look at how he was used in college. So I'm comfortable taking Gibbs right now in the 4th, in the 3rd. Listen, guys, when it comes to the running back position, especially in redraft formats, if you want a running back, draft them. Because redraft formats always tend to be heavy at the running back position. And, I mean, quite frankly, I'd say the same thing for the wide receiver position. But, yeah, I think Gibbs is going to move up on draft boards throughout this entire offseason. So I'm pretty comfortable drafting him wherever he lands to me when I feel like it's time to take him. Justin, I have a Superflex startup that I made some trades. I'm sitting with Chase, CD, Garrett Wilson, Bijan, Cousins, and Goff. Wow. Yeah, I'd feel pretty good too, man. Obviously, Cousins and Goff, like, you're going to be looking for a quarterback soonish, but I'd feel good, man, for sure. Nick says Amon-Ra, Chris Olave, or Gibbs and Bijan. I guess it's really St. Brown or Olave, Gibbs, or Bijan, right? Yeah, love those selections as well. Bijan, we were talking about Gibbs, where we think he might go, and all that when it's time to actually do drafts. And Man, guys, I'm telling you, I think Bijan's easily going to be a top 5 pick. In redraft, no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind, Bijan's going to move up to a top 5 pick. So I would definitely say, like, for those of you guys in Underdog tournaments right now and everything, entering Best Ball Mania 4, like, take advantage of Bijan's ADP as well as Gibbs's ADP, because I think both those guys are going to shoot up pretty drastically. All right, where do I want to go? Me, Aaron Jones. I need some running back help. Man, I feel like wide receivers just thinning out like so quickly lately. I've been kind of fading tight end lately, man. That could be a problem. Chubb and Jones makes me a little nervous. I feel like I'm in a win now situation. Guys, I really like Kendre Miller. I mean, Jamal Williams is there, Kamara is there. I get that, but I really like Kendre Miller. And like when you look at him, like watch his tape from college, like he feels like literally somewhere between Jamal Williams and Kamara, which is certainly interesting. Man, for only having Burrow on your team, Nick, Rodgers is a great pick for you at 9.2. Okay, I'm either going... Well, I guess I shouldn't say. Because Mac Jones. I'm either going Devon, A-Chain here, or Tyler Lockett. And I think looking at my running backs, I have to go A-Chain. Because running backs are pretty thin right now. And I've got Jones and Chubb. But, man, I would have loved to have Lockett as my second flex option. Oh, well, we'll survive. Justin, they said they're going to use Gibbs as a slot receiver. Yeah, I saw that. To the moon, 100%. Cinnabon, I think Charbs is either going to be a Kareem Hunt role or a Madison type of role. It could be fair. Could be fair. Thomas, totally get it. Only go for one Seahawk. I mean, like, it's going to depend, Thomas, on when you're drafting and what the current ADPs and values of Walker and Charbs are. Like, tonight's draft, for example, Walker's at 3.9, Charbs at 7.12. So, it just depends. Like, in redraft, you know, if you're able to get Walker the right value and then Charbs at the right value as well, I'm not against it. I'm not. Redraft, I like it a little bit more personally. But all I'm saying is, yeah, if you stack your team with too many Seahawks players, and you're sitting there on Sunday not being able to enjoy your Seahawks games. I know that stuff happens. It does. Coast to Coast, what's up, bro? How we doing, man? Albert, how we doing? Hello, hello. Paulie, last year's my most enjoyable fantasy season ever. I'm an Eagles fan. Took Jalen the 5th in my home league. It was amazing. You know, it's funny you say that because I have a good friend who's a diehard Eagles fan. And he was like the third. Oh, it's a keeper league. So I think in our league, he was actually the second team to take a quarterback off the board because Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen were not available. So they're respective keepers, right? So he went Lamar Jackson over Jalen Hurts literally because he didn't want to have like the emotions involved. And like at the end of the season, he was like, I really regret that. So I don't know. It could go either way, I suppose. Boss man, did I overdraft Mingo? So you went with Mingo at 8.1. I mean, so Josh Downs, Jaden Reed still on the board? I don't think so. No, I mean, I think personally, if you're already going to target Jaden Reed at 10.11, I'd probably go with a proven guy at 8.1 over Mingo. I mean, I know it's hard to like tell if Reed's going to be available or not, but uh, I'm okay with both. But then, like, you're kind of in a position right now where you're heavily relying on Debo and Cooper. But to answer your question, I don't think so. I mean, once again, if you have conviction in a specific rookie receiver, you want them on your squad, I think you go out and get them. I'm okay with it. Mingo, I'm very back and forth with at the moment. We'll see though. All right, who do I want to draft? Catterick, who you picking there? Who we picking? Why are you taking this down the wire? Man, you guys let me get my guy. You let me get both my guys. Thank you guys. Michael's not drafting tonight, that's why. Hey, Lockett as my 5th wide receiver makes me very happy. But I do need to add some youth at receiver. I mean, I got Waddle, JSN, but after that, Adams, Kirk, Lockett. So I do need to get some youth going there. Taylor says Amon-Ra and Bijan. Yeah, I mean, if it works out perfectly, you can land both. But it's going to be, I mean, by August, I don't know if you can get both those guys. Cinnabon, I would like to take Bears players in my home league, but half that league is made of Bears fans, so DJ Moore is going to be overvalued. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think Moore is going to continue to move up in ADP. Nothing too drastically, though. But yeah, if you're playing with only Bears fans, that's going to be tough. But I think I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I get Gibbs in my home league this year. I am very high on Gibbs right now. I mean, I was super high on DeAndre Swift last season. Going into last season, I should say. Very, very. I feel literally almost the same way about Gibbs. But I think Swift, I don't know, because we've already seen it proven on an NFL field when healthy. But I still, yeah, I'm very high on Gibbs. So I'm going to have to count him off all my draft boards. If I'm drafting with you guys, I get it. But I certainly hope that a lot of you guys go after Gibbs this year, Cinnabon, everyone seems to be undervaluing Chase Brown. With Mixon on the way out, I don't think anyone's ahead of Brown, so unless they sign someone, it's his backfield. Chase Brown is this year's Tyler Algier for me. I think that's a fair comparison. Obviously, we have to wait and see what happens, Of course, it matters if Mixon is there or not. And I wouldn't say 100% Mixon's on the way out, but I don't know. We'll just have to see. Like, right before the draft, we got that news that, like, he was asked to take a pay cut. And if he wasn't going to take it, he was going to be let go. So we never got any update after that. So I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. And I do think that if Mixon is out, it's very likely that the Bengals do add a veteran running back. But either way, I do think that Chase Brown is definitely in position. I mean, when you look at Tyler Algier's season last year, he was RB29 in full PPR, had just over 1,000 rushing yards, 1,035 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, 139 receiving yards off of 16 receptions, and 1 receiving touchdown. I could see similar numbers for Chase Brown if Mixon's not there. But I do think that Chase Brown is I don't know, as a rookie, I think playing as an RB2 might benefit him. But we'll see. Had some fumbling issues in college. But is kind of like doesn't do anything crazy when you look at his film, but just like a good old school style type running back. So I think that actually kind of fits what the Bengals try to do. But I feel like the Bengals have just been lacking like a true like receiving threat at the running back position. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, Mixon, not awful in that department, but where did Mixon go tonight? Is Mixon available? Where is Mixon? That's like hurting my head. Oh my gosh. Okay, I know you guys have probably already answered in the. Oh, okay, I found him. 8.4. Jeez. Yeah, I mean 441 receiving yards, 60 receptions last year for Mixon. So I don't know. Maybe that's unfair. 314 receiving yards, 42 receptions a year before. So that may have been a bad statement by me. But I just mean like the upside, you know, like what Barkley brings to the table, what CMC brings to the table, which might not be fair because those are arguably the two best running backs in the league. But you know what I mean? Like if that offense could just be opened up in a way where they could consistently throw the running back, I think it would just bring so much to the table for them. But I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thought at all, Cinnabon, though. And I think that comparing him to Tyler Algier is pretty fair. Cinnabon, Jalen Reed was so overdrafted in the NFL draft. So let's see here. Am I on the board? When I pick 50. I mean, yeah, I do think when he went off the board, I do agree. When he went off the board, there are other receivers that I liked more. I think that's fair. Give me Greg D right here. Finish up my tight ends for the night. Have a good night, Cinnabon. Thank you for hanging out, my guy. Cats, Connor still slept on. I mean, yeah. I do think, like Connor, for the most part, you're getting immediate value when you look at his injury history. Going into 7th season, age 28. I do think you're primarily looking at immediate value. But I think it's okay. In the 11th round, I'll take it. I mean, Cook is there as well. What are we going to do with Dalvin Cook, man? There's still, like, for how many questions we got answered with guys like Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson. We still have a lot of questions out there. Where's Dalvin Cook going to go? Where's Joe Mixon going to go? Where's DeAndre Hopkins going to go? Are they even going to go anywhere? Was there any merit to the Derrick Henry rumors ever? I'm starting to believe that there wasn't, you know? But we have questions that still need to be answered. All right, where do I want to go with this next pick? Oh, man, I don't know. I need a receiver. There's just plenty of receivers I would take right here. Just give me the young guy. Give me Sky Moore. It's such a risk, but I'll just take it. I'll take it. I need youth. Thomas, Eagles signed tight end Dan Arnold. I used him a couple times early last year in redraft. He had a few okay games, but it's Goddard's show. Oh, yeah, I didn't see that at all. Interesting signing for them. But, yeah, Goddard will be fine. I 100% agree. Goddard will be just fine. Interesting signing, though. They didn't really have anyone at tight end behind Goddard, so... Although Jack Stoll played okay in the postseason, for what it's worth. Goddard will be just fine. I wish Goddard hadn't got hurt last year. I mean, those 5 games he missed just hurt his ranking so bad. He would have been easily in the top 10 last year. Speezy, they're all staying. No one's moving. Cook was a top 20 running back playing with a dislocated shoulder. He got surgery. He's good. Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to think that all those guys could stay. I think I might agree with you, man. Disappointing. I want the fun news. You know what I mean? But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? All right, into the 14th round we go, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm feeling okay about this team so far. Which Chiefs wide receiver do you guys like the most right now? We got Kadarius Toney go at 10.2, Rashee Rice at 10.11, Sky Moore at 13.4, and I'm certain that MVS is still available. Man, I was really wishing that Allen Lazard would fall out here. It's really tough for me not to go Allen Lazard at 13.4. But I already have Adams, Kirk, Lockett. Like, I needed another young guy, so I was hoping Lazard would fall out, but I knew he wouldn't at the same time. So. But yeah, which Chiefs wide receiver are you guys taking a look at right now? I mean, you got Rashee Rice's ADP right next to Tony's tonight. You got Sky Moore 2 rounds after them. Just interested. Because, I mean, outside of Kelsey it's pretty tough to get a read on that receiving room overall. Kelsey's not even a receiver. I mean, do you guys feel that there's just not enough consistency? Man, I wanted Gainwell here as well. But I'm not surprised he didn't last. I feel like I need to take a running back. So I should probably do that. I mean, Chubb, Jones, A-Chain. I need some depth. I feel like Algier is a good pick in the 14th still. I'll take Gibby here. Justin, I feel you there. Like the spicy moves keeps it interesting for sure. For sure. I totally forgot that the Golden State game is still on. Wow. Score looks very different than it looked earlier. Justin, Tony's a gadget guy. New Tyreek. Ooh. Steep comparison. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like in like redraft, I am probably going to end up targeting Tony, any of the Chiefs receivers. But I feel like in startup mocks right now, Sky Moore has the best value. I feel like, I like Rashee Rice. I do. And like initially coming out of the draft, I was pretty high on him. But I feel like his ADP is just a little, I feel like the value is just not the best, you know? I don't know. I'm pretty torn on him because I liked him a lot. Like I was drafting him pretty aggressively right after the draft. Shane, what's up, my guy? How we doing, man? Hello, hello. I get what you're saying, Speezy. Just the way they will manufacture touches for him, no one compares to the cheetahs. The cheetahs. The cheetah. So I only went 2 quarterbacks tonight. Probably a bad move. But I just felt like there is value at other positions. I mean, you can always trade, right? How do you feel about me in a draft getting Bijan in the 14th, getting his handcuff? I think that's perfectly fine. Yeah, Algier's got good value and where he's going. I think that's perfectly fine. Take Tyler Boyd here. Gosh, quarterback is just, yeah. I mean, there's no point. Like when I picked Sky Moore, I could have gone Matthew Stafford, and I'm like, you know, I mean, it makes sense. Don't get me wrong. Like, all signs are pointing to Stafford playing this year, you know. And I like seriously for a little bit there, I was pretty concerned that Stafford wasn't going to play this coming season, but it makes sense. Don't get me wrong. I just felt like I don't know. Like I'd rather take a young receiver right there. But at this point, like all we got is Malik Willis, Ryan Tannehill, Baker. Like unless you're going like Zach Wilson and hoping he gets a starting job in like 2 years or whatever, but or Mike White, Gardner Minshew, Sam Darnold, hoping that someone's hurt, you know. Bailey Zappi is like maybe the last dart throw you can make. And even then, I don't feel great. Yeah, Shane, I think like if you go out and get Bijan, and as long as like you're not taking Algier in the 14th when there's better value on the board, I think it's fine, you know. But it just depends on who's available. But I'm not against it, but I think Bijan will be healthy this season. Man, when are we going to get an update on Zeke? Like, I genuinely just want to know where Zeke's going to play. I really am not going to be surprised if he lands back with the Cowboys. I mean, I know, like, from a dynasty perspective, there's really nothing, like, exciting there, but I truthfully, like, it just bothers me, like, when I don't know where Zeke's going to play. You know, I don't know if Hopkins is going to get traded. Like, I was telling you guys with the whole Lamar saga, like, I just want this over. I just want to know what's going to happen. And I remember my initial gut feeling being that Lamar wasn't going anywhere. I should have just trusted that gut feeling. All right. How do I want to wrap up this draft tonight? I feel fine at tight end. How many receivers do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'm okay there too. I might take one more receiver. Might just load up at running back. I might need to load up at a specific position because this team theoretically probably have to make a trade for a quarterback. Might be what I do. Odell's on the board. Oh, no, he's not. All right, I'll take Penny, I guess. That's why I need to load up at running back. Besides the point of potential trade is there's not much left. I need some depth here. Where's Lenny? Where's playoff Lenny going to go? How do we feel about Devin Singletary behind Pierce? I feel like he has the potential to be a touchdown vulture. But I don't know, man. Pierce is a good running back. He'll probably be fine. Zeke the next Mark Ingram. I could actually really see that. Like him just taking on like that leadership type of role, but still productive enough, you know what I mean? To where he like has a job. I could see that. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Fournette, man. Don't know, Thomas. I mean, Fournette, I feel like Fournette and Zeke could go to any team and be productive right away. And I think that's pretty fair. In the right role, right? Productive enough locker room guy, 100%. Which it does hold value. They paid Singletary decent money for a 1-year rental. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they just wanted to get pieces there. You know what I mean? Try and get as many pieces around your young quarterback. Torn on this next pick. Oh, it's ugly. I hate that. I hate that. But what if Goff or Allen gets hurt? Like, I need someone to fill in for a couple games. I don't even know if Tannehill's going to be the starter. I personally think Tannehill will be the starter for the first couple of games. But depending on how things go, I do think that could change. I do think it could change. Where did Levis go tonight? 8.5. Tannehill's just kind of that guy, kind of like Baker. Like, they're both expected to be starters at the beginning of the year, and they're both just kind of there at the end of the draft. You know, if you kind of screw up at quarterback, you might as well take one. It doesn't feel good. Like, I was literally planning on taking Dwayne McBride right there. He goes to Shane at 17.8. So, like, but once again, like, if I went quarterback earlier, I'm still losing out on the skill position player there. So, what are you going to do? All right, I will make my last selection, and then if you guys want me to take a look at your squad, please let me know. Do some team reviews here. Did we have 8 bench spots tonight or 10? Wow. Okay, we only had 8. I'm sorry, guys. We usually have 10. I forgot to point that out because that's what we had it set to last time. I didn't change it. I forgot. So this is your last selection, boys and girls. Well, I'm going to go with the running back, but I don't know who. Who do I have? Chubb, Jones, A-Chain, Gibby, Penny. That's not too bad. Could go tight end here. But I feel okay with Komet, Dolchich. Receivers, Adam Thielen, Isaiah Hodgins. Oh, a little run at tight end here in the final round of the draft. Yeah, I'm just going to pick Michael Carter or Devin Singletary. Call it a night. You got Chris Rodriguez, kind of interesting, but I already have one Washington player. Could go Jeff Wilson or Mostart as well, being that I have A-Chain. But I'm an A-Chain believer, so just give me Carter in case, God forbid, anything happens to Breece Hall again this year. Doug, I actually got a pretty good neck crack in on stream earlier. You probably missed it. All right, Shane's up first. What we do tonight, man? T-Lock, Kyler, Levis, Waller, Schoonmaker, Woods. I'm okay with that, but Levis might not be a starter right away, and Kyler's going to miss beginning of the year. So from Superflex format, like long term, this is fine. Like it's nice long term, especially if Levis is actually an NFL starter. Short term, you're in a little bit of a pickle. Waller, Shoemaker, Woods, completely fine. Harris, Cook, Jamal, Zach Evans, Foreman, McBride. I'm okay with the running back room. London, Diggs, Burks, Godwin, Johnson, Sutton. I'm okay with that too. So you're starting T-Law and maybe Levis. You might be trading for a quarterback or picking up like Sam Darnold on the waiver. Starting Najee and we'll say Cook. London, Diggs, Burks, flexing Godwin, Johnson. Starting Waller. So I think your core roster looks pretty good, man. Outside of quarterback too. Sutton, Jamal, Zach, Evans, Shoemaker, Foreman, McBride, Woods on the bench is fine. Only issue I have with this team, Shane, is the QB2. Other than that, I think it's a good little squad. All right, Taylor at the 1.11. We got Fields, Pickett, dangerous. I'm okay with that. And Njoku, Laporta. Guys, I really like Laporta right now. Kate Otten, I love this tight end room. Yep, love the tight end room, man. Breece Hall, Rashad White, Condre Miller, Zeke, Evan Houle. I don't put a ton of value on running backs. You guys know that in terms of our specific format. But still a little light at running back. A lot of injuries to that position. Like, I like Condre and Evan Houle for the long term. I think Zeke, you probably felt like you're in a position where you had to take Zeke. I love Breece Hall and Rashad White, don't get me wrong. But they have to stay healthy. That's all. Devonta, Metcalf, Jordan Addison, Hollywood, Cooks, Lazard, Hutchinson. I'm okay with that receiver room. Hutchinson could be a really sneaky pick right now. All right, you're starting Fields and Pickett. Fields and Russ, either way. Starting Njoku. Starting Hall and White, Smith, Metcalf, Hollywood, flexing Addison, flexing Lazard. You still got Miller, Laporta, Cooks, Zeke, Cool, Hutchinson, Ott on the bench. I like this team. I think it's well built. Running back a little light, though. All right, boss man, we got Deshaun Watson, Anthony Richardson, Danny Dimes. I like that as a nice little quarterback room. Michael Mayer, likely, Jawan, look fine at tight end. Barkley, Charbs, Dillon, Chase Brown, Izzy. I mean, pretty heavy at the rookie running backs, but you have Barkley and AJ there. Debo, Cooper, Mingo, Reed, Davis, Pierce, Shakir. I'm okay with the receivers, but 3 wide receiver set, I don't know. Not my favorite receiver room personally. So starting Watson and flexing Jones. Let's say you're starting Mayer. Could be starting Jawan Johnson in the short term. Starting Barkley and Dillon for sure. Starting Debo and Cooper. And then this is where it just gets a little murky. Like, what does Mingo and what do Mingo and Reed look like at the beginning of the season? How much can you rely on them? So you're probably starting Gabe Davis, flexing Pierce. Then like your second flex is just murky. You know, it's going to be Mingo, it's going to be Reed. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. These are fine long-term moves. And it's a startup draft for a reason. But got to think about year one a little bit as well, I guess, is all. So, yeah, those would be my notes. Quarterback room is great. Coast to coast at the 1.1. All right, we got Mahomes, Stroud, Ritter, Bennett. I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm fine with it long-term. But short-term, I mean, like Mahomes, fine, right? But QB2, you could have some growing pains between Stroud, Ritter, and Bennett's not even going to be a starter. So, Kelsey, Hawkinson, Musgrave. Oh, come on, man. Dobbins, Akers, Mitchell, Vaughn. A little light at running back. Judy, J-Mo, Mike Williams, Bateman, Mechie, Terrace Marshall, Hodgins. Okay. The receivers are okay, I guess. Yeah. So you're starting Mahomes, flexing Ritter or Stroud, starting Kelsey, starting Dobbins and Akers, starting Judy, Mike Williams, Bateman, flexing Hawk, flexing J-Mo down the road. But until then, Mechie or Marshall. So it's an interesting build for sure. I mean, long term, I think it's okay. I do think if you go Kelsey and Hawkinson, as much as I don't mind the Musgrave pick, you probably don't need him. But it really doesn't hurt. I mean, throw him on your taxi squad, see what happens. You have Kelsey and Hawk. Like, interesting build. Interesting build. Receiver depth, running backs. I don't know. That's the thing. Going 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends, 2 running backs before the 8th. Receivers took a little bit of a hit, but he still got pretty good receiver value. It's just, I don't know how much you can rely on some of those guys. But interesting build for sure. All right, 1.7. What we do tonight? Herbie, Love, Stafford. I'm okay with that. Freiermuth, Fant, Everett. Can live with that too. Pollard, Stevenson, Madison, Gainwell, CEH. Yeah. I might take like a Dwayne McBride. Just a rookie over CEH, but I'm okay with it. Wilson, Hill, Watson, Hopkins, Hyatt, Mims, Chark. Good receiver room. I'm not as high on Chark as some other people are, but he's fine as your last receiver. So you're starting Herbert, super flexing Love or Staff infection, starting Freiermuth, starting Pollard and Stevenson, Wilson, Hill, Watson, flexing Hopkins, flexing Mims or Hyatt. Yeah, I like the core roster a lot. I think it's a good enough bench. Yeah, team looks pretty solid to me. Like the core roster a ton. J-Dub's been quiet tonight. He's been honed in. He's been focused. All right. 2 a time. Carr, Sam Howell, Mandrews and Hurst. Okay. Can live with that. Swift, Sanders, Robinson, Herbert, Harris. Can live with that. Even with Harris on Buffalo, I might go with the rookie right there. Chase, A.J. Brown, Moore, Ayuk, DPJ, Mooney, Jones, Samuel. Receivers look great. Yeah. I mean, I would like to see a wrinkle. I'd like to see a rookie sprinkled in there, but that's fine. So, we're starting Tua, Carr, Mandrews, Swift, Sanders, Chase Brown, Moore, flexing Ayuk, flexing Brian Robinson, DPJ, Mooney, Jones. Like you got all kinds of options, dude. So, team looks fine. I mean, it feels a little bit more short term. There's not any rookies on this team. Not a lot of second-year guys either. But you have some youth sprinkled in there, so I can't really argue this team. It looks pretty good, man. I'd just like to see a couple younger guys on there. Pete, what's up, man? You know we got A-Chain in here. Let's go. How we doing, my guy? All right, Cats at the 1.5. Hurts, Prescott, Lance. Yep, I'm good at that. I like that QB room a lot. Pitts, Brenton Strange, Bellinger. I'm good at that. Pacheco, Monty, Connor, Roshan, Algier. Yeah. For not going running back till the 8th, I like it. Amon-Ra, Quentin Johnston, Dotson, Downs, Elijah Moore. Thomas Beckham. Interesting receiver room. So we're starting Hurts, flexing Prescott, starting Pitts, starting Pacheco and Connor or Monty, starting Amon-Ra, Dotson, Elijah Moore, flexing Quentin Johnston and Josh Downs, maybe flexing James Conner. I mean, you got Thomas and Beckham too, so this is an interesting team, Cats. It's a pretty well-balanced team. But I will say, like, Quentin Johnston, Josh Downs have to pan out sooner rather than later. Then, like, Michael Thomas and Odell have to pay off for where you took them as well. I mean, like, pretty good value in the 15th and 16th, don't get me wrong. But, like, they have to be productive. They can't have, like, injury-prone years, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I think this team looks pretty good, man. I like that team a lot, actually. But you do have some things that need to happen. You know what I mean? Speezy, what in the world did we do tonight, man? What in the world did we do tonight? Cousins, Geno, Mac and Cheese, Mayfield. Yeah, like long term, it's not the best outlook, but I can't really argue against that quarterback room. Ingram and Conquo, I'm good at that. C-Mac, Gibbs, Eckler, Jacobs. Like, truthfully, you probably could have stopped there, and I wouldn't have minded. But you also got Chuba and Singletary. Running backs are ridiculous. J.J., Keenan Allen, Tony, Myers, Dobbs, Butte. Yeah. Like, I mean, I get why you picked more running backs for depth and everything. But I would probably just take 2 more shots at receiver right there. I may not even go Baker. I may go with another receiver and then, like 2 receivers, 1 running back. But we're starting Cousins, starting Geno, starting Ingram, starting C-Mac and Gibbs, JJ and Keenan Allen and Tony. Then flexing Eckler and Jacobs. So it's a very interesting build. I mean, that is one thing to look at. Like, we're playing 3 receivers. But if you draft 4 running backs early, your 2 flex spots can be running backs. As long as they're healthy. It's an interesting build. I mean, I think receiver depth obviously takes a hit here. But you do have JJ. Yeah. I mean, I think my only note is I would try to just take some more shots at receiver at the end of the draft. And I mean, I'm not going to fault you for taking a 4th quarterback, but that is one other thing you could think about. But very interesting build tonight, Speezy. Running backs are scary. All right, let me get caught up here, Nick. We got Burrow, Rodgers, Wilson. Yeah, I mean, I love Rodgers. I love Burrow. Burrow's fine for the long term. Rodgers, obviously not. But you will be looking for a quarterback sooner rather than later. Wilson means nothing to me. I'm not going to lie. Goddard, Schultz, Darnell, perfectly fine at the tight end room. JT, Javonte, Pirine, yeah, I mean, you can't come out of your draft with 3 running backs. But pretty good value on those 3 guys, I will say. Chris Olave, Flowers, McLaurin, Rashee Rice, Juju, Robinson, Shaheed, Dell, Collins. Yeah, like you're going to be trading for a running back, and you need a younger quarterback sooner rather than later, but like everything else looks fine. You're starting Burrow, Rodgers, Goddard, Olave, Flowers, McLaurin. Those receivers could shift around, but Olave and McLaurin probably won't. Starting JT and Javonte, if he's not healthy. Pirine, I mean, you got both Denver running backs. I see that. Then you're flexing Juju, Rashee Rice, Shaheed, like Robinson. You got plenty of options there. So, yep, you need a quarterback soon, and you need more running back depth. Other than that, team looks great. All right, let me get caught up here. Let's see. Any thoughts on Deneric Prince, undrafted free agent with the Chiefs? I would say that, we always see like free, I don't know, exciting prospects, undrafted guys, whatever, go to the Chiefs, and then it just, I don't know. Yes, they're on the Chiefs. I get it. But until we see something concrete, I wouldn't read much into it. I mean, they just re-signed McKinnon. Don't get me wrong, there's a spot for an RB3 on this team, but Pacheco, McKinnon going to be the guys. So, I mean, just think about like Justin Ross. Like, we're still waiting for him. I mean, I know he's been hurt, but, still waiting for him to do something, right? But yeah, we'll see what happens. I wouldn't get too excited yet, though, personally. Draft of the night. I think I'm going Taylor. Katz was kind of close, though. J-Dubs, I like your team. I just like to see some youth in there. Speezy's team was very interesting. I'm glad he drafted the way he did. Taylor, we got Fields, Pickett or Russ, and Njoku. Laporta and Otten for the long term. Breece Hall, Rashad White as starters. I just think the biggest knock on Taylor's team is running back depth. Something happens to Hall or White. Smith, Metcalf, Addison, Brown, Cooks, Lazard, Hutchinson I like. Cook's not my favorite guy, but I still like the receiver room. I think that's the team I go with. Taylor likes fantasy sleepers team. Yeah, I did like that team as well. What did I do tonight? Let's roast my squad, then we'll wrap up for the night. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight, man. I appreciate you guys so much. Josh Allen, Goff, Tannehill. Yeah, I mean, I had to add that third quarterback. Every time I was looking at the board, I just felt like I needed to go elsewhere other than quarterback. You could definitely argue quarterback's the worst part of this team, even with Goff and Allen there. Komet and Dolchich, I'm good with tight end room here. Chubb, Jones, A-Chain, Gibson, Penny, Carter. Fine at the running backs. Waddle, JSN, Adams, Kirk, Lockett, Sky Moore, Boyd. I tried to sprinkle in another young guy. I mean, I got Waddle at 24, JSN at 21, Moore at 22. And then Kirk is, 26. I'm clicking on like every wrong player. Boyd's 28. Lockett's 30, Adams 30. So I feel like it's pretty good balance. I like this team. It's just the third quarterback bothers me. What happened to Anthony Davis? I don't know. I've been watching the games. I watched the first two. I watched the first half, but I don't know what happened. All I know is the Warriors lit it up, which I knew was going to happen. I was going to place a heavy bet on the Warriors money line. And you know what? Last night, I'm going to place a heavy bet, I know you guys don't care, on the Celtics and on the Hurricanes. And, I mean, at least I'm tracking what I haven't done, you know what I mean? But Woulda, shoulda, coulda. Okay, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight, talking fantasy. Thank you guys for, of course, drafting with me, for those of you who drafted with me tonight. But I just appreciate you guys. Another great stream tonight. I did drop my rookie tight end rankings. I only did 5. Felt like that was the best thing to do. But there's rookie tight ends out for you guys. I'll finish out the week with a rookie quarterback discussion video. And just continue to try and get some more uploads out for you guys throughout the week. Have some short form content out there. But it's really just recapping what we went over in the ranking videos. And yeah, man. That does it for the night. So I think tomorrow night, guys, I want to do a redraft mock. Because we haven't, sorry, I just like threw an Advil. We haven't done a redraft mock, if I'm not mistaken, since the NFL draft. I don't want to neglect you redraft guys, but the focus of this month is still Dynasty and Best Ball. But I don't know. I feel like we need to do a redraft one. Yeah, if you guys want to set up a redraft mock for tonight, I will hop in with you guys. If you guys want to do that off air on Discord, I'll hop in with you guys. So I'm good at that, J-Dubs. Doug, I don't know when the neck crack was, but I hit a good one tonight. My neck has been like really bothering me today. So, all right, yeah, it looks like you guys were running a redraft mock during the stream. Okay. If you guys want to run another one, I'll hop in. All right, that does it for the night, guys. So thank you guys for being here. You guys know who you are. Love you guys, man. Love this community. Love the Catch fam. Hit me up on Discord, Instagram if you guys need anything. Of course, if you guys are new to the channel, thank you for being here tonight. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And check out the links down below. Follow us on Discord. Follow us on Instagram. All that good stuff. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Everyone have a safe night. Everyone have a great Friday. It's almost the weekend. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. With that, I'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on The Catch. And